How's everybody doing today? Hopefully y'all are enjoying the NFL Draft Prospect Series. We're going to keep rolling out the videos, but today we're going to talk about the prospect from Alabama Crimson Tide, Jalen Milroe. This is Ricardo Walker here, and let's get into it. So Jalen Milroe is a 6'2", 217-pound QB. Over the past season at Bama, he had 2,844 passing yards, and he had 36 touchdowns, with 20 of those being rushing TDs. He did throw 11 interceptions, and that is something you want to look at and be cautious about if you're an NFL team looking to draft him in this upcoming draft. Now, coming out of college this past season, he was one of the most highly regarded and well-respected players. He started off the season hot with Alabama. They started 7-2, but then near the end of the season, they started falling off and they ended up falling short of the playoffs. So now I'm going to talk about some of Jalen Milroe's skills, and we're going to review three of his collegiate plays that he had through this past season with Bama. So, things to know about Jalen Milroe is he's an aggressive dual threat QB who loves to use his legs, loves to get out of the numbers and scramble. He's a dynamic runner with a powerful arm. Now, I all know we all want to think about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. I'm going to be realistic and let's just not compare him to Lamar. I feel like too many times nowadays we want to, just because they could scramble out of the pocket and make dynamic plays with their legs, we want to compare him to Lamar Jackson. And sometimes that is true. But we got to look at the flip side of it and just say, like, no, there are other players in the NFL that can also run that didn't pan out to be as good as Lamar. So the two players that I compare Jalen Milroe to are Anthony Richardson and Deshaun Watson. Now, these are two players that I really feel like his game compares the most with because when you're looking at these players, all three of them know how to scramble and use their legs in ways that most players can't, and they all have somewhat of a passing ability, not the best, and that's what I really like about this comparison. Because Jalen Milroe is a guy that's not really known as a passer at all. He definitely needs to improve in that part of his game, but running the ball, I mean, we all know Anthony Richardson. Running, he gets a lot of touchdowns. He's an athletic freak. He can just run right over you. And Deshaun Watson is another physical runner that can make insane plays with his legs, and that's why I'm comparing both of these to Jalen Milroe. But now let's go through some of the plays that he had during his collegiate career at Bama. So on this first play, you're gonna see Jalen Milroe hike the ball. It's gonna throw a go ball right to Ryan Williams in the end zone. It's just gonna fit that ball right in. I mean, not that difficult of a pass, but it's an accurate one. So we rarely see that from Jalen Milroe, and that's one of his better plays. So you do see the short flashes of passing potential there for him, and that's why I think if you're an NFL team and you draft him, that's something you can improve on for him, and that's why that's why you are in the NFL to improve players, make them better. So nothing to sweat there, but that's a great pass by Jalen Milroe, and you see the flash of his throwing capabilities. And on this next play, you're gonna see him snap the ball, and he's just gonna get blitzed, and you're gonna see that a little lane opens up right up the middle of the defense, and as soon as he sees that, bang, he's gone. He's running, and he's just gonna zoom right out of the pocket, get the first down, make an insane play with his legs, and that's where we see the ability of his runs. I mean, we all know this dude is an exciting runner, man. I love seeing this dude run. I love watching him get out of the pocket and make insane plays with his legs, which is why Jalen Milroe is moving up the draft boards in this year's draft. He is kind of going all around the place, but Jalen Milroe is a guy that a lot of NFL teams are looking at him because of his dual threat capabilities and his ability to make dynamic plays with his legs. And then on this last play, you're just going to see another beautiful run by Jalen Milroe. He's going to hike the ball, get right up the gut of that defense once again. And this time he's just going to explode even more. And he's going to go to the right drift off and he's gonna pick up a big gain and then he steps out of bounds. But that's a great play by Jalen Milroe. You see the explosiveness of his legs. He just bursts right up that hole. And you see from there in the open field, he's gone. Now the defense takes a good angle, but that's not really what you're looking at. You're looking at his ability to just pick up a 30-yard gain. And that's what you really love as a QB looking at Jalen Milroe. He's very explosive, and that's why he's another prospect that NFL teams like in this upcoming draft, and he's very exciting. Now, Jalen Milroe, some red flags about him is he's very inconsistent as a passer. We all know that accuracy needs to be improved, but nothing an NFL team can't fix. He can't really play in structure. He's a good off platform QB, out of structure QB. He loves doing his own thing, creating plays for himself. And that's fine, but in the NFL, the level of competition is different. Everybody's skilled in the NFL, and everybody is basically at the same level. It's about just your hard work, the grind, and your dedication that makes you better than other players. And the last main thing I really want to highlight about Jalen Milroe is that he heavily relied on his legs or the capabilities of his receivers through this past season at Bama. I mean, we all know he had the stud wide receiver freshman Ryan Williams who was making plays for him all the time, bailing him out. And in the NFL, let's just say he doesn't go to the best situation. Now, I don't even think he's going to be a starter for his rookie season. But if he does start, whatever team drafts him, they think about starting him and he starts, and he doesn't have a wide receiver one that has the skills of that can make insane plays like Ryan Williams, saying a player that could just light up the defense and make great plays with his hands and good route running. Let's say he doesn't have that type of wide receiver one. What is he gonna do? He's gonna rely on his legs. He's gonna try to do too much, which is why players like Anthony Richardson are struggling right now because they can't find their groove with the receivers they have. Maybe they had a good receiver in college, and on the Colts, Anthony Richardson doesn't really have a good receiver. So that's why I think Anthony Richardson's struggling right now. And if Jalen Milroe ends up going to the same situation as Anthony Richardson, I can see the same thing happening to him. So Jalen Milroe, he's a guy that I'm not really too high on in this year's draft. I do see the ceiling there. He can be a really good player, but he has a lot of improvement, and he really has to go to the perfect situation for him. The coach, the coordinator, everything has to be perfect for him, and he has to get a good relationship with his receivers. Now, the teams I can see drafting Jalen Milroe are the Dolphins and the Browns. Jalen Milroe, like I said, he's going all around the place in this year's draft. Some people even have him going in the top five, which I really don't think is going to happen. I think he's going to go in the second round. But let's just say the Dolphins do draft him and take a chance on him. They have Mike McDaniel as their head coach. And we all know McDaniel is willing to take a chance on QBs and see what their potential could be, like he did with Zach Wilson. Now, Zach Wilson didn't plan out, but if he does take Jalen Milroe and he does find a way to get the best out of him, man, the Dolphins could be dangerous. They got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Milroe long term could be a very good investment for the Dolphins. On the other side of that, the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are a team that in the draft, people think they're going to take a QB second pick. But no, I really think they're either going to pick, of course, Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. It's as simple as that. Those two players are freaks on each side of the ball. Abdul Carter for defense and Travis Hunter for both sides. But I think those are the two players they're going to draft because of the things they can do. They're going to make plays, whoever they draft. And that's why I think in the second round, the Browns are going to get Jalen Milroe. That's an option. If we're looking at it, they don't really have a certified QB, a good starter they could just roll out there with. And they probably won't if they still draft Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is going to be a guy that's going to have to develop and hone his skills as a rookie in the NFL. He's going to probably start off as the bench and learn from a veteran QB, which is fine. Michael Penix did that this past season, and he actually showed up near the end of the season for the Falcons. So Jalen Milroe is a prospect that just needs to take his time and improve on his skills. But I like his capabilities as a rusher. I really think using his legs is a good thing for him, but he has to get better as a passer, and that's all I really have to say about Jalen Milroe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know how y'all think he's going to pan out in the NFL, what teams will draft him. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this one, and I'm going to be coming up with another video not too short after this one. So stay tuned and keep supporting us. I love the support from you guys, and thank y'all. Peace.